got questions.
We've got answers.
And the first one on today's Q&A video comes from Miles Coots, who wants to know, howdy boys, now that we are a good way into Triple H's tenure as head of creative, do you see him doing good? And what is he doing bad? What do you see him doing well, and what is he doing poorly?
I think the majority of stuff he is doing well, in my opinion. Long-term storytelling obviously has been exemplified in his reign. You can look at, Cody Rhodes' eventual ascent to the world title. And I will point out another point that Cedric made just the other day on one of our podcasts, that he's getting very good at sort of sprinkling little details that you will actually get back to him and think, oh, that actually
like he's feeding the birds.
Was important to notice back in the day, rather than just like some people constantly talking in the background as a promo is being cut backstage. There's more detail being put in there. I think he's vastly improved the product. Obviously production's changed as well. Not necessarily saying that that's down to him, but I just think it's been a huge improvement. It was a low bar he had to clear, but I think he's vastly improved. But I will say, I think the obvious thing to criticise him for is women's wrestling. Yes, they have some phenomenally talented people in there, and that's kind of a given. It's not like they're having bad matches left, right and centre, but in terms of outside of the title picture, outside of your Rhea Ripley's, your Liv Morgans, even arguably your Bianca Belair's, because she's tag champions, etc. like that, there's not a lot else going on, and there's not a lot of people being built up. They're going to have to kind of rely on NXT talent coming up to be established. Like, you could list off 10, 15 names of people who they just sort of go, a bit of a push for you, like outside of someone like an Io Sky, who's the next someone to break through and win their first world title? I can't think of many.
I think those are valid points. I also think there's a lot of room for improvement in the tag scene on the main roster at the moment. I think actually they could probably benefit from copying NXT's approach.
Yeah.
Not that the NXT tag division is perfect, but it's much stronger, and you've got really cool teams like Fraxium doing the business all the time. It's good stuff.
He's going to be saying, how long do you want those Motor City Machine Guns for, I reckon, quite soon.
Yeah, because they're all-timers.
Yeah.
In terms of sticking with things that he could be doing a little bit better, I know this is a topic that not everyone agrees on, but I hate the 5-match pay-per-view format. I hate having to wait 20 minutes between matches. I just don't enjoy that. I think that he could tighten up that viewing experience quite a bit.
So not necessarily add more matches, just...
Yeah, well, either squash it in a bit more or add more matches and have it the same runtime.
Yeah.
I really don't like all the downtime between... Like, watching it live just becomes a chore to me. I don't want to watch 15 minutes of Braun Strowman vignettes and and I know video packages, they're really well produced, they are really slick and they're really well done, but does it need to be 5 minutes long for a feud I've already watched the entire stuff of? I don't know. I feel like they could save time, change the pay-per-view format. I honestly think that the best pay-per-view format is somewhere between AEW's with the loads of matches and WWE's.
Yeah,
somewhere in the middle is the
there.
perfect happy medium. In terms of successes, there's loads. Long-term, obviously, like the Bloodline stuff has been a huge success for them and continues to drive business, and it still probably has a year or two left before it runs out of steam completely. But also just like reading his audience and knowing what they want and booking to that. Like, when was the last time a pushed act in WWE didn't get over? It's probably the Final Testament, right?
Yeah.
And everything else just gets over. Like, he understands what his audience wants and he delivers it constantly. An absolute godsend as a booker to have that.
Hell of a job to re-establish the IC title the way that he has now, because it was a thing where you're like, okay, once Gunther drops it, what happens? And it's gone to Sammy and now Braun Breaker, and it feels like a prize again.
Yeah.
Next question today comes from Michael Morris. Thank you for your question, Michael, who says, greetings Mr. NXT and Dr. Murray. Who has been the biggest surprise this year so far? Who has been the biggest letdown? And what's your go-to meal deal?
Oh, wow. I love it. So, biggest letdown for me. Let's start a fight in the comment section. CM Punk in WWE.
Wow.
CM Punk's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. People who watch the channel know that. I don't really get involved in all this tribal Punk versus elite rubbish, but I just love CM Punk's work. I think he's one of the most believable, authentic guys in the business. And while he has had flashes of that in WWE, to me, it feels manufactured. It feels not real, not authentic. I don't believe him when he speaks. The exception would be this week's episode of Raw, where he cut a tremendously personal, deep promo. But even the matches, man, I thought the first Drew McIntyre match stunk the building out.
Yeah, it's quite divisive. I liked it, but yeah.
It was too soft for me. I don't think you can believably go from, I'm gonna kill you, to, let's have a nice wrestling match. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. I do think that the Hell in a Cell match will deliver, but for me, him in WWE has been a little bit too sports entertainment and not enough breaking through the veneer, which I thought he would be really good at. It's just a shame to me how much of a company man he's become. That's why he's not pissed anyone off yet. So, your mileage may vary on that. Have you got a letdown for 2024?
Oh, yeah, if we're starting fights, let's start one. Mercedes Moné.
Yes, good. Good.
I had really, really high expectations, to be fair. And there's been flashes. The Willow match was one of them I will point out. And I'm not saying, we talked a little bit about this on, I think, a previous Q&A. It's not, well, that's dead, get rid of her.
Yeah.
It's not that, but I was hoping, for a big Wembley match, or a big standout moment or standout promo. And I think the difficulty they've had as well is, she's hugely popular, but she plays a really good heel, so they didn't really, had to present her as that. She just hasn't been, and not to use the classic cliched term, she hasn't been the game changer that I really hoped she was going to be for the women's division in AEW.
In terms of positive surprises?
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed, good, yeah.
Bronson Reed, and it's not just a surprise this year, it's a surprise in the last 2 months or whatever. I enjoyed Bronson Reed in NXT, liked him, was excited to see what he does in the main roster, and then he turned up and I was like, yeah, he sure is a body in the ring. And it was he'd have fine matches and I'd forget them the day after. Now, he's arguably the thing I'm most looking forward to on every week's episode of Monday Night Raw. They have done, Shad, Triple H, he's done an incredible job of getting him over.
Really good elevation. Obafemi for me, where the hell where did he come from? Where did he come from? He's awesome, he's fantastic. I love it when a wrestler just appears out of nowhere and is awesome out of the gates. That's exactly what he's been in NXT. Let's wrap this question up though with the meal deal. Tesco, I presume. What are you getting? Yeah,
well, I'm kind of a bit of a basic bitch, and I'll go cheese and onion, but you know my love recently for the special flavour of the Walkers have just dropped of the sausage sandwich crisps. So that, and a little Vimto, because I'm a child at heart.
He's a spicy boy. I get a chicken bacon mayo sandwich. I get salt and vinegar McCoys because I'm rugged.
Ooh.
And I get myself some Ribena Light. There you go. Low calorie, brother. Anyway, forget your club card, otherwise it's £4. My next question comes from TM. Shouts to TM, always great on Twitter.
Always love TM.
They would like to know if you could change one wrestler's entrance theme to a licensed theme, which is rumoured to be what's happening in WWE. Whose theme do you change, and what do you change it to?
Well, first of all, I've read the first half of this question, and immediately my brain went, Bailey, change Bailey's theme.
She's already got 7, so...
Yeah. But it doesn't even have to be a licensed theme. Just put it back.
Paramore!
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Either that or Bailey Buddies at WrestleMania. One of them, please.
Yeah.
We didn't get that. But I also thought I was there at WrestleMania when Pat McAfee had Seven Nation Army, and that was the one of the biggest jams of the weekend. So I'd suggest him, but I think you've probably got a better answer than me here.
Yeah, I mean, this one's for the freaks out there. Hardcore freaks, especially.
Hey, hardcore country. Mickey James is getting a payday.
well, we came up with a new version of hardcore country the other day, didn't we? Maybe we'll release it someday.
No.
Braun Breaker is great. His presentation is fantastic. There's one glaring element in his presentation that absolutely sucks, and that's his basic ass shitter of an entrance theme. I'm sorry, Phil. You can make me look like a clown in the edit. I would give him Hatebreed, I Will Be Heard. Right? An incredible sting into just a song that kicks in straight away with a great rhythm and a great bullish, thunderous riff. Rampage Brown has used this before in the Indies, and really, they should just sign Rampage Brown and put him on the main roster.
Yeah.
Because why has a major company not done that yet? Yes, I know he was in NXT UK. Rampage Brown should have had a mainstream wrestling career, and it's a crime that he hasn't. But if you're not going to sign Rampage Brown and use I Will Be Heard, it should be Bronson Reed.
Or, for some reason, if you're going to give Bron Breakker a new theme, just Gold by Spandau Ballet, but Bron. Bron, always believe in your spear. But also, we've got Amanda Slaughter's brilliant name generator that we've broken. So we're going to pull out a name from WWE each and pick a new theme from them on the spot, no pressure.
Let me reach into here now.
Okay.
Right, I'll grab this one, seeing as
I'll grab this one. Sorry, Amanda, thank you as always for this.
Alright, I'll read you first.
Okay.
R-Truth.
R-Truth.
He's got his own theme.
Yes.
So, there you go. What's he coming down to? What we got?
Liar by Madcon.
Okay.
The opposite of Truth.
Alright, sounds good.
It's with Truth. What is it? Chitty Bang did a song called Truth, didn't they? Yeah, I'll go with them.
I have no idea.
I'm struggling to think of a song by Truth. Charlotte Flair.
Oh, Charlotte Flair. Goodness gracious me. I don't know, because the thing about Charlotte Flair is that her first entrance team absolutely rocked, and her current one is a big bag of ass. So I'm gonna, I don't know, man. This is really tough. Creeping Death, because she's gonna kill you. There you go.
God Save the Queen.
God, yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. I flopped that one.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
God Save the... Hey, when is Spandau Ballet going on?
I was trying to think of something with the word bury in it, but like a Bury Your Dead song, maybe. Like
Fenech Soler did a song called Lies as well, I've just remembered, that's far better than the two ones I've suggested for our truth.
Bury Your Dead by The Haunted, there you go.
Okay.
Because she's going to bury everybody.
Ashley Short, thank you Ashley for your question, says, will the shock and awe factor of the Swerve Hangman cage match inform what will take place during the Punk Drew Cell match, or will WWE stay the course and stick with what they know?
I don't think it'll inform it. Like, I don't think they'll be looking at the Hangman Swerve match and going, hey, we're going to outdo that.
When are we getting the needles involved?
Yeah, like, because I don't think they'll do that. Just because it's a bit of a safer product, right? They're not going to put a needle in someone's face or anything like that. They're probably not going to powerbomb each other onto concrete blocks either. I do think that they will just do their own thing. I think that they will do the very best they can with whatever constraints are placed on them, be it by the agents or by the product or whatever, to have the bloodiest, most personal bitter match.
I think we're getting double juice, aren't we?
I think so. We're getting Kiora and Tango in the same match.
Kiora?
Yeah, that's good
Let's
stuff.
get some bongo in there, really kick it up a bit.
That's the good stuff, baby. Murray Cup, shout out the North East Scotland people. Yeah, I'm actually still really looking forward to this, right? Despite not enjoying the first match. I think they'll do the thing, and I think it will be really violent. I don't think it'll be as violent as the AEW one, and I don't think it should be.
No,
because WWE is just a different product.
Exactly, they're different things. They're aiming at different audiences. I think you may see an homage to something that happened in Swerve Hangman, but I sincerely doubt anything will get close to the madness that went on in there. But yeah, I think we're getting double juice. I think there will be callbacks to stuff that's happened throughout. So the strap, maybe a strap gets involved again. But yeah, it's interesting because I've also seen people debating whether or not, if this goes well, whether or not it's between Swerve and Hangman and Drew and Punk for feud of the year. So I mean, I disagree on both parts. It's The Rock versus Cody Rhodes for me, but interesting to see what they do there.
Feud of the year. Yeah, I mean, Outrunners versus people who don't understand the Outrunners. That's a good feud. How can you not love those guys?
Chances are, if you don't like them, I don't care for you as a person.
Yeah.
If you're anything like me, and I know I am.
And we are the second youngest men alive.
Yeah.
It has been said. People have been saying
We're right up there. Hey, Andy, what do you got for your next question? Tell Derp!
It's from Eri, who would like to know. Hello, legends. Pitch the biggest story you can think of after this Bloodline story finally ends. Or at least the focal point of the next big story that Papa H tells next. What you got?
It's either... I think it's going to happen actually probably during the Bloodline stuff is still finishing up, so I'm not going to say Punk's heel turn. I am going to say Cody Rhodes' heel turn.
Ooh.
He's dressed as Homelander. Ooh. It's really like he's the Homelander. I still need to watch The Boys. It's on my watch list. But what I know about it is he's like the most powerful, bestest guy in the world. But he's an asshole, basically. And you need to, I'm not saying that that's what Cody Rhodes is really like, but I'd love it if his character slowly becomes more and more like, yeah, God, that Roman was really protected over his title. I mean, I don't want to lose this, so actually, maybe oh God, it's happening again. Like, that's the story I'd tell, and I think it's going to be, it's like, people are crying out for a Punk heel turn soon. I think it's not going to happen just yet, but within the next year, that's happening. And then after you've done everything Bloodline related, I think Cody turning heel and someone having to, maybe not necessarily dethrone him, because that might have already happened, but someone coming in to beat him, be really exciting.
I completely agree with both of those. I think John Cena's retirement is going to be huge. Yeah. I think parts of it are going to suck. But like, we've got the ultimate long-term payoff to come as part of that. We've got two long-term payoffs. The second biggest one is, will he win a 17th world title? The first biggest one is, will he have a reckoning with that ball patch and finally come to terms with the way the world goes?
Turkey's right there.
Turkey is right there, isn't it? But in terms of like other huge things, Punk versus Roman, I think if they do that right, that could be absolutely sensational stuff. But yeah, they've got a lot on the table.
And also that question there said post Bloodline, right?
Yes.
So that stable's kind of out of the picture. So maybe a big gap for a new stable on the main roster. The family: Tony D, Stacks, The Riz, Luca Crucifino, running the goddamn show.
Sounds great, mate.
Right. Next question comes from Mike. Thank you, Mike, for your question.
Mike!
Simple one here.
Big Mike.
Who's going to retire Bryan Danielson? Mike thinks it's going to be Mox. I agree with him, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Moxley too. It's just the way the storyline's trending, isn't it? There's going to be some fun stuff involving Darby and his banked title shot and all of that stuff. So you could probably make an RB for Darby.
Never had Arby's.
Me neither. It doesn't look that good.
But I love meat.
Yeah, I do love meat as well.
Hey, Vegas, let's make it happen.
Let's do it, baby. So yeah, it's going to be Mox. I'd love to give you a more interesting answer than that, but I don't have one. It's Mox.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument to be made that you could give it to someone like a Hangman Page, but I think the whole point of Hangman is, this isn't you, Adam. You're not this guy. You're the good guy in all this. And having him being the one notoriously to retire Bryan Danielson. MJF could do it, but MJF doesn't need it either. Yeah. I don't think Mox necessarily needs it, but I think it works really well with this story. And of course, if Mox is unavailable, the next best person to retire Bryan Danielson, to break all of our hearts, is of course Andy.
Well, this one says Nick Comoroto, who at the moment is very injured, so get well soon.
It's going to be a long title reign for Bryan. But if not Nick, it is, of course, Colton Gunn.
Obviously.
I like Colton Gunn, to be honest.
Obviously, Colton Gunn retiring.
One more.
Yeah, all right, why not? Sure. Let's go. Oh, that one's already open. I'll take a new one. It was Ryan Reynolds.
I can actually see that one. That's one I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
Riho.
Ruby Soho.
Okay.
Sure. Why not?
Baby interference yet again in a Bryan Danielson match. After the Miz did it.
Baby.
Or Maurice did it, technically.
Already got the theme song. Sorry for the baby.
You next?
I cannot remember.
Yes, that's Mike's question. Mike, thank you for that one.
John Oldfield would like to know, Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed have had a brilliant feud so far. How do they top what they've done so far? Viking rules match? Question mark. I think we'd probably need one of them to join the Viking Raiders first, wouldn't we?
I think he knows how much I love Viking rules matches, though. Like, I think it's one of the best new match types because it's just like go mental. We talked a little bit about this on the Raw review yesterday because we all universally, it's very rare that all Dadleys agree on something. We all universally love this Bronson Reed story and this feud with Braun Strowman. He chucked a fan at him on Monday night, for goodness sake. Where do we go from here? I don't know is the obvious answer, but I think it's going to get more and more preposterous, and the match type it should not be is last man standing.
There's no drama.
It's over. Whereas Falls Count Anywhere gives you the possibility to do just about anything. I'd like to see, I talked about, remember Ricky from SmackDown last week?
Yep.
Kevin Owens and Randy Orton feel a bit bad for mugging him off, so they've bought him front row seats for Raw. And he's like, yay, this is so cool. And Bronson Reed picks him up, just like he did to that poor guy the other day, chucks him at Braun, but Braun chucks a chair at the same time, and they just collide in midair. But in terms of, I pitched Bronson Reed. Remember the Jeff Hardy spot? Randy Orton's down there, Jeff Hardy, Swanton. I think he climbs that truss and he's about to jump. Oh my God, he's going to kill Braun Strowman if he does that. And then slowly coming down behind him, Seth Rollins is back, pushes him off, and that sets up their big match for, I don't know, on a beam in the sky.
Seth Rollins continuing his 2024 theme of showing up and making good WWE feuds worse. I'm mostly joking. I would go Falls Count Anywhere as well.
Yeah.
The match I would be looking to evoke in terms of like destruction and chaos and like crazy stunts performed by giant men blowing things up would be Braun versus Bobby Lashley from Extreme Rules 2019.
Yes.
Personal favourite of mine in my heart right here. I think they should do the spear through the blooming LED boards and stuff as well. I know that was on Raw, but like, why the heck? Yeah, that's what I would go for. You could do the Viking Rules match. Maybe they could do a goofy cinematic segment where they Braun goes to Valhalla on a longboat and he goes to see the Elder Gods.
Yes.
And beats Kratos up along the way because he's already causing a ruckus up there.
I will say, I've just thought there is one way I'll allow a last man standing match, and that's if Bronson Reed's down and it's like, I've hit him with everything in terms of weapons and everything. Nothing will keep him down, or Braun, either or whatever. I'm gonna have to tip a truck onto him.
Yeah.
Because Braun's got a history with that sort of thing. You know, they used to normally put like 6 chairs on someone. I'm like, well, that's not going to keep him down, is it?
Yeah.
A truck would, though.
Yeah.
Tip a truck.
I'm going to put this on you.
And then you can do that whole thing of another toy that you can sell.
Yeah.
The new Bronson Reed toy truck tipper.
And you can start his trucker gimmick.
There you go. I'd just take like literally 5% of profits. Thank you very much, WWE.
What if we did a wrecking ball match where the two guys are maybe like 10 feet above the ring, so it's safe, and you swing them into each other, and they crash into each other, and then whoever...
And they can license Miley Cyrus.
I was about to say!
There you go! There you go! Why not? Don't do that. Do the Miley Cyrus bit. Don't do the match.
And you can make the entrance feel like Paul Burchill every week.
Yeah.
On the wrecking ball.
There you go.
There you go.
I came in on a wrecking ball. Anyway.
Or a Hendry ball. Joe Hendry, of course, did that in the back in the day.
He did.
David Newport says, when do you think Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in her briefcase? And what are your thoughts on her cashing in for a mid-card title if they're introduced?
Don't cash in for a mid-card title.
No.
Never cash in for a mid-card title. Completely undervalues the whole point.
Especially not when the US title's
Bank.
being defended on a weekly basis in Open Challengers, Austin Theory.
Yeah, exactly. I think that completely devalues the Money in the Bank concept. Also, the story's there. It's her turning her back on Nia. It's her playing Nia Jax like a fiddle until she eventually swerves her and takes the title.
Yep.
That's the story they're telling, and it's the way it should go. Yeah, it's quite transparent, but it's also quite good. So I would go down that route, and I'd probably do it in another couple of months. I feel like the Nia Jax title reign has a bit more juice left.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I'm conflicted because there's a scene missing in this because it goes Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, scene missing. Bianca Belair's champion and Jade Cargill wins the Rumble.
There you go.
It's a quite tight turnaround because Tiffany Stratton's going to have to lose that for that to work pretty soonish, unfortunately. But yeah, I'd say probably by the end of the year. Maybe she even cashes in on that big Saturday night's main event show.
Yeah, why not?
That'd
Give
be
it
a nice
big talking
sort of
point.
You can have a Tiffy Christmas.
Tiffy Christmas. Pink tree,
But
all
yeah,
that.
don't cash in on mid-card titles. Yeah, the cash-in is for a world title shot. How many chances are you going to get? If you just think about this, if we won a shot at anything, world title or, no offence, but lesser tag or mid-card title, it doesn't make sense.
Don't do it. Next question comes from Andy McManus, who would like to know, is there any mid-card wrestlers that you thought would make it to the top but never did? Mine would be S.A. Rios.
Oh, I loved S.A. Rios.
Sunday Night Heat favourite from back in the day when he was with Lita.
Yeah.
They're both wearing red, legends. Who you got?
He was one of the first ones I noticed on Channel 4 back in the day. Sort of cheating because he booked higher up in the card, but I'd read this question as someone who I thought should have won a world title and never has yet. Wade Barrett.
Wade Barrett
for me. You see the tweet the other day, he teased. He said, there's here's the highlights of some of his best matches ever. And he wrote, best matches ever so far. Don't give me hope, Stu.
Don't
yeah,
threaten
that's
us with
right.
a good time, Stuart.
Using your shoot name. But yeah, I always felt he was underutilized. And I feel like in this regime, if he'd have come through the way that he did through NXT in 2024, he'd have had multiple world title reigns by now. And it was it was just such a shame that they were like, oh, right, Nexus is dead. Core, League of Nations. Oh, you got kind of over with this bad news Barrett thing. I don't like that. We didn't make up that. So, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And he got really unlucky with injuries, of course.
Yeah, of course. I got three answers for this. Two, sadly, no longer with us. The first one, Mike Awesome.
Yeah.
Mike Awesome rocked so much ass, it was unbelievable. One of the most fun, silly, dumb jock wrestlers ever. Not the best talker in the world, so I understand why he never made it to the absolute pinnacle or whatever.
Stupid WCW
But
gimmicks.
yeah, the fat chick Brilla and all that 70s guy.
Yeah.
Just a load of garbage. And he never really did all that much in WWE either. And he came in the Invasion and all that. But yeah, Mike Awesome deserved a lot more than he got out of wrestling. Sean O'Hare. He's quite a common answer on videos like this or questions like this. But man, a lot of the guys who came out of that era of the WCW power plant were a bit generic, right? pretty basic working style, big jacked dudes. They looked incredible, but not all that in the ring. I think Sean O'Haire was a cut above most of that group of wrestlers. And when he's doing his devil's advocate character, it was one that never really got a full chance to take flight and all that stuff. So I think he would have had a tremendous career in a different timeline. I've forgotten who my third one is, so that's good. But Paul London. Right? Paul London had a good little mid-card career in WWE. He was tag team champion, all of this stuff. People don't understand how great Paul London was at professional wrestling.
Absolute piece as well.
Good-looking guy, obviously, but like not only could he fly and do lots of the cool flippy stuff, he was also like a tremendous selling babyface, like in Ring of Honor, like in like 2002, 2003, early days when he was one of the standout figures on the indies alongside your Danielsons and stuff. Paul London is an incredible pro wrestler, and I will die on this hill, who was greatly underserved by mainstream pro wrestling. There's that BS thing about people think he got fired from WWE because he was smiling at Vince's limo thing. It's nonsense. He was in the company for like another year. No company just ever harnessed what that man was capable of. It didn't help that he came into WWE at a time when he was, quite a small guy. That era still very much land of the giants. I love Paul London. Shout outs. Obviously he's into less weird conspiracy theories than Brian Kendrick as well, so that's good.
There was a lot of buzz around Paul London and Danielson back in those days, I remember. I loved him. I remember trying to play as him on one of the WWE games, and I thought, I actually thought at the time, you know what? I'm going to be the guy that gets Paul London to the world title because I love him so much. And it was one of those ones where WWE had gone, no, that's not happening. So you try and like Irish whip someone, and they just go, nope.
I'm bigger than you.
Oh, cool. So I'm barely getting an elimination in a Rumble here, let alone a career path. So really like him, and an absolute piece as well to go with it. The Panda Blair himself, Adam Blair at Adam Wilton 4 on X, of course, gives us our final question of today. Lexis King has some of the worst facial hair in the history of wrestling. What are some of the best and worst facial hairs in wrestling history? I compared Lexis King's facial hair to that weird dude in... What's the Jennifer Lawrence Hunger Games? It gets worse seemingly every week, but it's also part of the character. I think Mello was the one.
It's like a new angle, doesn't he?
I think Lexis King revealed in an interview that Mello was the one who recommended the barber to him for this sort of thing, so he's got to take some of the blame.
There's lore to the beard. Worst
facial hair.
Some of the stuff that Nick Jackson was doing in 2021 was really heinous. It was on purpose, obviously, but like Hulk Hogan with when he had the black shadow and then the mustache and all that. That was horrendous. What are we doing there?
Jericho had his little beard thing for a bit. It looked horrible.
I always thought Otis's various facial hairs looked a bit wispy and silly and not great. Best facial, Rick
Eli
Rude.
Cottonwood, just quick.
There you go, Rick Rude.
As a man who knows mustaches, that's not a mustache, brother.
Michael Hamflett's attempts at growing facial hair are always quite pathetic. But
September now, soon's going to be November.
Coming on. Rick Rude.
Oh,
obviously.
without question.
Sensational work. The Butcher has had many incredible facial hairs in his time in wrestling. But it's like any old guy with a big mustache. I'm into that.
The old. I like what's his name? Not Pete Dunne, his mate.
Tyler Bates.
I like a bit of that.
Yeah.
Bit of that. You can't really beat Rick Rude, can you?
Yeah. Mike Beltran, the UFC referee.
Yeah.
The big braids that goes down to his knees.
How long have you been working on that one, Mike?
Yeah, let us know, Mike.
I liked Cody's little mustache as well, but I want him. That should be part of his heel run. Bring that back.
And the black hair as well.
Oh,
And maybe if he comes down the ring with all that crap on his back, it's over.
Somebody's getting set on fire tonight.
Why's Cody got all that on his back?
But thank you for all of your questions. We'll be doing this again next week at WhatCulture WWE, at Andy H. Murray, at Adam Wilmot, at Phil Mind Chambers, by the way, as well on X if you want to follow us all. We're also available on Cameo, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Andy H. Murray, Adam Wilborn. Buy a video and we will give you a good one.
Bye.
Buy a video and we will give you a video.